be talking about whether or not the Eagles will win the NFC. Never mind the NFC East. That's already given.
Can you get the phone?
What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles. Listen to Real Talk and Miles Johnson, where you know I always keep it real. My Eagles, my Philadelphia Eagles, they've been going crazy, man. I mean, I'm just so proud. I'm so proud. I mean, the fact that they blew out the Vikings yesterday, a Vikings team that everybody's been hyped for. People been saying Kirk Cousins is a MVP candidate, and the Eagles put them to bed at Lincoln Financial Field. I mean, this Eagles roster, going to talk about, you know, how I feel about them, about my expectations for them this season. But they just flat out looked amazing yesterday. Defense completely shut down the Vikings. Kirk Cousins, I mean, he was turning over the ball like crazy. He had 3 picks. 3 picks. Justin Jefferson got locked up by Darius Slay. Talk about a guy in Josh Sweat wreaking havoc. TJ Edwards wreaking havoc. Fletcher Cox, I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer, still wreaking havoc. Still wreaking havoc. So, I mean, look at this Eagles team. Just not even just with the NFC East, with the NFL. They are the most complete team in the NFL. What team has the offensive weapons, has the offensive line, has the defensive line, and the secondary that the Eagles have? Like, they're flat out like head and shoulders the best roster in the NFL. And you know what? Let's give a clap to Howie Roseman. Now, honestly, I shouldn't be clapping for him because he owed the Eagles this roster. He owed Jalen Hurts really a decent, a legit roster after people were saying, y'all should look for another quarterback. Hurts isn't that guy. When you never gave the guy a chance. So when you talk about Jalen Hurts, 26-31, 333 passing yards, 2 rushing TDs. He's been flat out balling MVP candidate right now. Am I surprised about Jalen Hurts? Heck no. We knew the first game he was in, when he was put in the fire, I believe it was against the Saints, his first game ever, and he won. He won with that terrible Eagles roster 2 years ago in 2020. I mean, they were flat out terrible, bro. Flat out terrible. And Jalen Hurts took over for a team in Carson Wentz, who he just flat out lost that team. And that Eagles team was playing better under Jalen Hurts. And it wasn't that, you know, Jalen Hurts is this crazy thrower of the football. Although this season, we're going to talk about it later on, passing-wise, he's made drastic improvements. But this isn't a guy in Jalen Hurts that, you know, from the eye side, you say, oh, he's crazy athletic, or, you know, he's crazy, is crazy accurate. Like, it's not, it's, you know, he's obviously a great athlete, but you think about, you know, is there something about him that, like, pops out? Not really, like, on the field. Not really. Is he fast as Lamar Jackson? No. Can he throw the ball as far as Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? No. But he has them intangibles. He has that factor, that dog in him, that, you know what, I don't want to play against him, but I damn sure want him on my team. And that's what Jalen Hurts has showed from day one. And what Philly loves are athletes that want to improve, that want to get better. We see in Jalen Hurts' quote-unquote rookie year in 2020, because it wasn't really a rookie year. He played 5 games, but just put in the fire after Carson Wentz was just flat out terrible. But nonetheless, in his rookie year, he had a completion percentage of 59%. Not good at all. Coming to next season, or into his real rookie year, which was like really last year, he had a completion percentage of 61%. This season, although we're just 2 games in, he has a completion percentage of 69%. By the end of this season, if Jalen Hurts completion percentage is 65% and above, it's over. It's over. If he passes the ball 65% or better, the Eagles are going to the NFC Championship as long as everybody's healthy. That's just a fact. What Jalen Hurts has shown these past 2 games is that he's been in the lab and he's been improving passing the ball. And one could actually say maybe it's because he actually has a legit team around him, and now he actually has time to throw the ball. Now he has playmakers on the offensive side of the ball that can actually create space and make plays. He's got A.J. Brown. I mean, it's great to have Devontae Smith as your number 2 wide receiver. I mean, that's just a blessing right there. Dallas Goedert, I mean, he has taken the role of Zach Ertz, being that go-to tight end that Zach Ertz once was. Now it's Dallas Goedert. We got a running game in Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, right? So it's like, and Gainwell. So like, we have the playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and that's definitely a reason as to why Hurts completion percentage and how he's just looked better passing the football. But just off the eye test, he has improved drastically, right? And so, yeah, him having better weapons has helped. But clearly we've seen the proof is in the pudding. Jalen Hurts has improved. He's flat out improved. And in Philly, you ain't got to win a Super Bowl. You ain't got to win an NBA championship. You ain't got to win a World Series every year. We're not asking that. We aren't LA. All we're asking is for you to have that dog in you. Don't be scared, and improve every year. And Jalen Hurts, if he hasn't proved it already, is the quarterback for the future. For the next 10 years, I want Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. So I'm just so happy that this Eagles team is living up to expectations. They're actually surpassing expectations, right? Talk about this Eagles team. Again, they're the best roster in the NFL. This Eagles team reminds me of that 2017 Super Bowl Eagles roster. Guess what? They had the same roster as they did back in 2017 that won the Super Bowl. Talk about a second-year starting quarterback in Jalen Hurts. They had the same thing with Carson Wentz. He was in his second year, right? They have a great offensive line. Pro Football Focus has rated the Eagles' offensive line right now as the best in the NFL. They have playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. They got A.J. Brown. Back in 2017, they had Alshon Jeffrey, a go-to wideout receiver. They got a guy in Quez Watkins right now who has track star speed. Guess who had that? Torrey Smith back in 2017. Talk about on the defense side of the ball. You already know with that defensive line that they had guys like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, who are still here to this day. And guess what? Now with guys like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham getting older, although they can still do some damage, we got younger guys like Josh Sweat, T.J. Edwards, Jordan Davis that can really carry the load in the trenches for the majority of the game. And then Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, they can pick their spots. So, and then on secondary, we picked up Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We picked up, Darius Slay last year, but we have a way better secondary than we've ever had, even compared to our Super Bowl run. The only real stud that we had in our secondary was Malcolm Jenkins. Aside from him, it was who else do we have? So there's no weakness on this Eagles team. No weakness at all. And I need everybody that's not an Eagles fan or just flat out doubted Jalen Hurts to give him an apology. Right now, go under his page, Jalen Hurts, Instagram, and say, I apologize. Because you should just flat out do it. Jalen Hurts, all he needed was a chance. All Jalen Hurts needed was a legit team surrounded by him. Guess what? Now he has an offensive line. Now he has playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Now he has a legit defense. He has a good running game. Watch is going to happen. Success is going to happen. So I don't want to hear all that. The Eagles, they're not ready for prime time. Oh, we ready. And we talk about, are the Eagles going to be able to compete in the NFC East? That's locked up. That's locked up. The NFC East is locked up. We should be talking about whether or not the Eagles will win the NFC. Never mind the NFC East. That's already given. I mean, look, and they might have the best record in the NFC because they get to play the Cowboys without Dak, Daniel Jones and the Giants, and Carson Wentz and the Commanders, bro. 6 times this season. I'd be flabbergasted if they went 4-2. They're going to go 5-1 at the very least and probably end up going 6-0. So, end of the day, let's be real. This Eagles team is legit. Philly sports is where it's at right now. The Sixers are popping. The Phillies are popping. The Eagles are popping. All Philly sports are popping. It is a great time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. And these Eagles just flat out doing it right now. And shout out to Nick Sirianni. Again, he has gotten a lot of backlash basically because he was replaced with the only Super Bowl winning coach in Eagles franchise history. So you're going to have some scrutiny coming in when Doug Pearson should have never been fired in the first place. But he has shown to be a good coach. I might even say great, depending on how they do this season. But he's definitely a good coach. Howie Roseman made the right decision in getting Nick Sirianni. And Howie Roseman did a phenomenal job. I mean, executive of the year in turning this Eagles roster around. And what I love about football, you can go 7-9 one year. You can go 9-7 one year. And the next season win Super Bowl. Like, you're going to, like, it only takes a couple of moves, and you can be back on top. And that's exactly what Howie Roseman did. That's exactly what the Eagles have done. They're back on top. I see them as a legit. I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm not, trying to, make a mountain of a molehill. Week 2. What I see with my eyes, I see the same exact Philly roster in 2017 that won the Super Bowl right now. But matter of fact, this roster is better because we have more playmakers on offense. We have more playmakers on defense. And we have a guy in Jalen Hurts that not only can pass the ball, but can run the ball. So what weakness does this Eagles roster have? Please comment down below if they have a weakness, because I don't see a weakness right now. Now, let me know what you think about this Eagles roster. Do you think that they can end up winning the NFC? Do you think they are a legit NFC contender? And how do you feel about Jalen Hurts? Now, again, Jalen Hurts, last season, that was his real rookie year. And with that bum squad he had, I mean, he had Jalen Reagor as his second wideout, as his number 2 wideout. He had Devontae Smith, a rookie, as his number 1 wideout. He had a guy in Dallas Goedert that just took over the reins for Zach Ertz as the team's, leading as a team star tight end. Had the Eagles defensive line that was average at best. Had an Eagles secondary that was just flat out awful. And he still took that team to the playoffs, and they won 9 games. They went 9-7, right? They won the last 5 or 6 games at the end of the season. So this roster has drastically improved, and Jalen Hurts has made that next step that we've been looking for him to make. And we see with second-year quarterbacks, they make that next step, right? And that's what Jalen Hurts is right now. Again, I'm not going to count that season in 2020 when he had like 5 games under his belt. That's not fair to hold that against him. Let's fairly judge Jalen Hurts now. He's got a legit roster, just like how Patrick Mahomes. Now you can actually judge him. He has a legit roster. Josh Allen, he got Stephon Diggs. Like, a lot of these top quarterbacks, they've got great playmakers that make their jobs easier, right? And Jalen Hurts has actually got playmakers now that has made his job easier. I can't wait. Jalen Hurts got my support. Philly in the building. This is Real Talk Miles Johnson, where I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.